From the 28-yard line of Auburn. Bama going left to right. Bryce gets the snap, knee high. Looks, throws the fade route, near side end zone. Got it! Caught! Touchdown, Alabama! Caught by Ja'Cory Brooks in the end zone.
And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis! Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back! Auburn's going to win the football game! Auburn's going to win the football game!
And Alabama has come from nowhere to defeat the Auburn Tigers in multiple overtimes.
Welcome to Titan Tigers, episode 20, finale of season 1.
I think we're going to have to rethink that considering sports. Should we just do...
Sports.
It's just going to be episodes all the way to 200. There's no season, I guess.
I was looking forward to season 2.
Renegotiations or something.
Exactly. I mean, it is episode 20. It usually is season 1. But
right.
A lot of things winding down, a lot of things picking up. We're going into the dog days of summer. This is our NFL draft, NBA playoff, spring game edition of Titan Tigers. Not much to talk about. We'll get in the spring games first. Not much to talk about. Bama pretty much just has a glorified practice. Ryan Williams, the big stars, really don't go. We talked about this a couple episodes ago, and Auburn, I think, kind of was more of the similar thing. Is the spring game done? I mean, this used to be a big deal to see the young guys and some of the position battles. It doesn't seem like it's that anymore.
It's not done. It is going to change a lot now. Spring game used to be, let's see what the team has to offer, get some fans all excited and everything. Well, now, news and sports is 24/7.
Yeah.
So people are updated about their players before the news can even get it to public because it's on their phone. So now you know what your team's already capable of, most likely.
Yes.
You're just going to see the famous players now and all the other stuff. I think they're going to turn it into more of an entertainment venue. Okay. They're going to say, just like they do all the player signings and stuff, I think they're going to turn it into more of an event thing, kind of like they do with the Pro Bowl, but for teams now to show off their players and universities and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Instead of it being what this is, I prefer they go do scrimmages against each other.
Yeah.
Another school.
I could like the jamboree, like you said. That's what I agree too.
I would prefer that, but I think it's going to turn into a way to make money for everybody.
When you say entertainment, Florida had 60,000 and they celebrated the national champions there. And I know some basketball players are like, man, I wish we had our own thing. I'm like, dude, you're not going to get 60,000 people to come. I thought that was a really cool idea, actually.
It was very smart.
But again, entertainment aspect, they made it a big thing, drew the huge crowd. Bama draws probably their worst crowd.
I think it was between 10 to 15,000.
Yes, Auburn's wasn't much. Again,
30,
I think Deion and those guys are onto it. Let's do a jamboree. Let's see what some of these guys are like. But, when your big stars aren't playing, you're doing a glorified practice, really not much to talk about. I mean, I was actually very disappointed that, most of the people didn't play. And, again, I just don't think you're going to get much out of a glorified practice, which leaves even more question marks for who's going to play quarterback for Alabama, who's going to play quarterback for Auburn, who are going to be the guys. And maybe, the coaches, Hugh and DeBoer, want to keep it close to the vest and really not show what they have yet. I mean,
well, Auburn just lost a player into the transfer portal the day of.
Yes.
It was on that Saturday. So, I mean, that tells a lot too. Like, if a player feels like he got disrespected because he didn't get enough play time in a stupid 8
and that's what Kalen DeBoer said. The reason why they didn't is because he said that it's the portal impact. If you don't do something, instead of keeping a guy through the summer and see how he progresses, you lose him to portal because he didn't play enough snaps in the A-Day or whatever game you're playing.
And I think I even said, I was like, nah, players aren't that greedy. I was wrong. I really didn't expect it from an Auburn guy either. But it's kind of funny that Saban predicted all of this.
Yes, he did.
He warned everybody. That was why he was getting out. And everybody was like, yeah, the landscape's changing, but hopefully it won't be as bad as he's predicting. I think it's worse.
Yeah.
So, with Nico...
I mean, they just did reps almost at the Bama game. It was just so frustrating. And like I said, Simpson got to throw and Russell got to throw and these guys, but they're reps. They're not in-game reps. And I mean, sometimes in the 8-day game with Saban, the ones-on-the-ones may have been the best competition you saw all year.
Yeah,
I mean,
he'd be out there with a pink jacket on to make sure they avoided him. But, I mean, some of the 8-day games, that was... Like we talked about before, that was the opportunity for the lesser-known players to get known. And when you have players come into week 1, they're saying, where's that kid that was out there making number 55? Nobody. making big plays.
You remember Victor Cruz got found in the preseason football game when he had 2 touchdowns. But I think Simpson was the first one to go out quarterback for Bama. I think he's going to be the guy. I think Russell's still a little bit too young. What about Auburn? Who do you think is going to be quarterback for them? You think it's still up for air?
I think it's going to have to be Arnold.
Okay.
And I think that Deuce is going to be the backup.
Okay.
Because watching how much they threw, I didn't watch the whole day, obviously, but watching how much they threw throughout a bunch of the highlights and reading about it, Deuce has a lot of reading to improve on.
Yes.
He's trying to make throws that he thinks he can make because he was making them in high school.
Well, I think Russell's the same way. Both these guys are freshmen coming in with guys who've, Arnold obviously been at Oklahoma, but, that'll be interesting to see if these young guys can really push these guys who've been around for 2 or 3 years on not the physical side and the talent side, but the mental capacity of playing quarterback in the SEC. So,
what do you think about the issue with the only last standing quarterback to not enter the transfer portal is Arch Manning?
Yes. Arch, I saw an article on Arch, and he said he wants to be a quarterback at Texas, and nothing was going to stop him. To me, Arch said and did his time Mac Jones-esque for Alabama.
Yeah.
I like Arch. I think Arch is going to have a good year for Texas.
He's going to have a great career with them.
Getting into quarterbacks, let's get us into the headlines.
Okay.
Nico.
Oh, yeah.
The drama of what's going on at Tennessee. Breaking news, I'm hearing they may take him back.
Well, so apparently he had been arguing this with his team, with Tennessee, that he wanted more NIL money all along.
Supposedly he almost held out of the playoff game.
Yes. So this wasn't like an unknown thing to them. I think it's just been a bargaining between each other to see where you can end up. And I think Tennessee set that standard saying, if you don't want to be here, we don't care.
Yeah.
And when they said that, every school was kind of like, well, we don't want to be the one to take him. It's kind of like a stigma with him now.
Yeah.
So I think because you'll change the landscape forever if any team accepts him for what for what he thinks he's worth.
Yes.
Then every other quarterback's going to start doing that.
Well, supposedly Dan Lanning in Oregon's the one that told Josh Heupel that, hey, your quarterback's out shopping here.
Yep.
And they're supposedly paying him around $2.4 million. He was wanting $4 million. This is the beginning. We talked about what you talked about with Saban. We've talked about it with Kiffin numerous times. This is what is building up to, is holdouts. Yep. Where there's no bargain agreement. There's none of that stuff, and it's going to just cause mass chaos. And we saw it to begin with. But I'm going to name the SEC quarterbacks, and you tell me right now, would you take him over the Sellers kid from South Carolina? Nico.
No.
Would you take him over Arch Manning?
No.
Would you take him over Lagway at Florida?
They'd be on the same level to me, honestly.
Would you take him over Nussmeier at LSU?
Yeah, same level. Once you get to the skill level, I'd say same level. Once you get to the personality and the greed level, no.
Would you take him over Diego at Vanderbilt?
I like Diego Pavia. I think they're on the same level as well. Diego was a scrapper.
So what I'm trying to say is that if you don't even have him in your top 5 quarterbacks, you can't be asking for $4 million a year.
Yeah.
So what I think is going to happen is I think that you saw Tulane he's only getting $1 million offers.
Yeah.
So I think that what's going to happen is that I think he's going to go tuck his tail back in, and he's going to go to Tennessee, and they're going to take him back, and Heupel's going to lay the law down and be like, hey, you're our guy. This can't happen. Yeah. And I know this is a different, complete situation. That's what I'd do if I was a coach. I'd say, hey, listen, I know this whole landscape is crazy. I know you probably got your dad influencing you. You got this. Here are the ground rules. Here's what's going to happen. But this can't happen again. If anything, then that's it.
I mean, sign a contract at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it's going to become is more no NIL deals of word of mouth and verbal contracts. It's going to become this is your contract to play at so and so college.
Yeah,
and it's
and Nico did lead them to the playoff. So you can't knock him. I would take Lagway, Arch, and Sellers all over him.
I'd definitely take the first two. For sure.
All right, so that was going to be our...
Well, you brought up one thing, Tulane. News on the former Auburn quarterback, TJ Finley.
Yeah.
He got arrested for apparently a stolen vehicle. Turns out it was because he bought it off of Marketplace because people were scamming, stealing cars and selling them. So all the media that was out there trying to say, oh, he's just a kid trying to rob people. No, he's cooperating with officials and everything.
Awesome.
So it's crazy. Everybody be safe out there trying to do any type of online purchasing.
Oh, yeah. You didn't even think about that. Stolen watches, stolen laptops. That was, a lot of things have gone over the years. You just don't know what you're getting. So that actually wasn't my first headline. We went to the Nico because we kind of started talking about the quarterback situation. You called it. Rory wins the Masters.
Oh, yeah.
What an incredible moment. Again, you're going left-handed again, which you're not.
I did that one nicely.
How does the Masters do this every year? Like, I feel like every year they have the whole world gravitated, and there always is this incredible story. I mean, this is every year. I mean, it's just, it's always so fun to watch. And even if you're not a golf guy, it usually creates unbelievable, unforgettable memories.
Now, I agree it was an incredible memory, but then there was one comparison that people said, this is like Tiger Woods in 2000. No. Tiger Woods in 2000, I don't think ever placed lower than second on any tournament he had entered that year.
Yeah.
So, Rory achieved something great and finally won one.
Yeah.
But the people comparing that was insane to me. I do think that it has a lot to do with how it's set up.
Yeah.
I think that with them having affordable tickets, affordable food and everything, and their media rights are just straight sold so that they can do anything they want, and you're just airing it.
Well, not just that, there's no cell phones allowed.
And
you watching, man, like I thought somebody posted the other day, I'm like, that's the cool, like you don't think about, I wish I had my phone, but everybody was present. Everybody was watching. Like, thought cool. I think you sent me about King Griffey Jr. is one of the photographers.
He's a photographer there.
Yeah. But everybody's present and in the moment, and maybe that's why it is so special. Like, there's no distractions. You're there for the right reasons, and another just incredible tournament. You can't say they just don't do it, but it seems like with it, whether it's Tiger or Scheffler or Spieth or Tiger making his comeback return, Mickelson, Sergio Garcia. So like all the Bubba Watson. I remember that was a crazy. It's always some remarkable story happening right in front of everything, or almost a collapse in front of Rory. Almost collapsed. Yeah. I mean, he did.
And it's also a lot of the media team and production team behind the Masters.
Nance is incredible.
With how they amplify everything and they edit things together to make it seem so much more exciting, because imagine if you're there for 3 days, there's gonna be lots of boring moments, and then of course those exciting ones are gonna lift everything. So it's awesome how they can put together for us non-golfers.
Exactly.
And make it that awesome.
CBS does an incredible job.
They really do.
I really hate that football season not on CBS anymore. They used to be my favorite thing of watching CBS college football. So
the first early game on Saturdays.
Yep. All right, headline number 3. This is something that I want to ask you about because you like doing this, playing both sides of the ball. Hunter saying he's not going to play if a team that drafts him if they don't let him play both sides of the ball.
I want to say that's all talk. I want to say your goal was to make it to the NFL as a kid. I don't think your goal when you were 8 years old was, I have to play receiver and DB and be the best at both. Because if you're doing that, you proved in college that you weren't the best at both.
Yeah.
There's a receiver that, what school was it that he had I think it was Arizona.
Yeah.
He had 3 or 4 touchdowns, and Hunter was on him and man.
Yeah.
So there's going to be players that are going to find weaknesses.
I mean, he's been playing. No offense to Colorado, but they have not been playing strong competition. Could you imagine? Okay, all right, you got to guard Scary Terry. Okay. All right. Oh no! Now Lattimore's guarding you on defense. You're like, wait, what? You got to guard Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Oh, here comes Jalen Ramsey. It's like, this isn't Colorado State. I like Travis Hunter. He's a great player.
Yes.
But you're facing the best players in the world. And they're going to have you at DB if you're a top DB guarding their best player. You can't just go guard Justin Jefferson and then run amazing routes on offense against somebody it's just.
I mean, do you not see even the stars that are Justin Jefferson? And then when they get to the sidelines, they're tired.
Yes.
It's not like they're running half speed. I know you're in the best shape of any college player probably, but you're going to be taking physical beatings.
Yes.
It's just going to be a different game. Everybody that gets to the NFL will tell you that it's night and day difference than college.
Yes.
Not just high school or anything like just other athletes.
I think
it's a pro to college.
But you get to focus on one spot. And there's other guys that have done pinch spots.
What do you think you'll be best at?
I think corner.
Okay.
But I mean, again, Marlon Humphrey's guarding you, and you're tangling with Humphrey, and then boom, you got to go guard Zay Flowers. You got to go guard Mark Andrews. It's like that. If it's done, this guy deserves all his flowers. But man, I just don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think you should come out demanding it. Now, if he goes to play for the Cleveland Browns in the second pitch, which is
they'll need him to play.
Yes, they'll need him to play both.
He might be playing quarterback some too. I agree with you entirely on defense now.
Yeah.
If he was to play offense. I watched his pro day.
Yeah.
He's going to host another pro day.
Yeah.
I think him and Shador or something. But he runs routes to show off his footwork.
Yeah.
He's not actually running them to get to the open ground and open spaces. He knows he's going to beat somebody one-on-one. Well, in the NFL, it's not just one-on-one. You've got other things to deal with.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot.
I think he will be able to focus on defense better because he was able to read offenses perfectly.
Yeah.
He was making jumps on balls that people didn't even think the quarterback was going to be dumb enough to throw.
Well, he's a great player. And again, maybe the right fit does it. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I sent you an article. This is not really a headline. It's just kind of a funny headline. God rest his soul, Mike Leach, the Pirate. Did you see the Instagram I told you? So the tush pushes became the new 4th and 1 thing. Mike Leach actually thought about hiring, I guess you would call little people, and tossing him over the line of scrimmage to get the first down. Did you see that story I sent you? No. So he said about...
Oh, yeah. Oh, why? No, I did see that, actually. I thought it was this morning. I was reading it. So I thought about that, and you can't... You're supposed to not be able to grab your own player and pull him.
But now you can.
But you still can without Russ throwing a flag, but I still think it's illegal. I think if you have a player like... Say you had a Tez Johnson at Oregon, you could say, dude, just... But that's the whole thing of a defense can't launch themselves off of a defensive line.
They said the coach had to talk him back down from that. Like, no.
That's hilarious. You stay going.
All right, so the play-in tournament it started last night. Curry and them are in the playoffs. I just was going to ask you real quick as I'm by myself.
And the bet.
All right, so now we have the playoffs play-in for NBA started last night. I'm just going to ask you, because there were some really good games last night, but Major League Baseball does have play-in, NBA has play-in. Do you think just the best 8 teams should get in, or do you like the fact that they let 6 through 10 or 7 through 10 battle it out for the last 2 spots?
I mean, considering the Celtics are in it pretty much every year, I'm happy with where we're at. But if I needed a team like Atlanta to get in every year, I would want them to extend it. Okay. I mean, they got enough time, I think.
Yeah. But. Well, like I said, 7 to 10, even if you get the 7 seed, you still got to fight for your spots. There's been a couple 7 seeds who's lost to the 10 seed, then lost to the 8-9 loser, and they didn't make the playoffs, and they weren't even in the last spot. They were in the second to last spot. So I don't know if I quite like it. It seems like it's been better for basketball and baseball, but you let more teams get a chance at it, which is always great. But I think at some point you got to be good to make the playoffs. It can't be for everybody. And
true.
And any team can have a couple good games, and they have a crappy season. I mean, the 7 seed could be in between. They could have 15 more wins than the 10 seed, and somehow the 10 seed has one player goes off one game. Yeah. So, all right. So that's our headlines for this week. We got 2 more segments, NFL and our picks. And we'll be back here on Tide and Tigers.